So in the previous class we have discussed our basic principle in electrostatics, starting with the discussion of Coulomb's law and the basic concept of EFI, that is electric field intensity, right? So in this class we will go forward with the calculation or the concept of this EFI in different conditions, right? In different conditions means in the last class we have also discussed details about the linear charge distribution, surface charge distributions and volume charge distributions. So in this video we will also try to evaluate what is the condition of the EFI will be in different cases, that is EFI due to linear charge distributions, surface charge distributions, volume charge distributions and other conditions, right? So to start with, we are going to discuss this EFI due to a linear charge distribution, right? So let us start. So we know previously that we have discussed that for linear charge density, I'm in short writing it as LCD. So it was given as lambda equals to dq dl, right? So this was the expression for linear charge distribution or density, right? Now you need to calculate the total force on test charge q2. That means to calculate, what is our objective? To calculate, number one, total force F. Suppose we denote this total force by F on a test charge. You remember the concept of test charge that is being used previously, charge Q naught, right? Due to this LCD, due to LCD, that is due to this linear charge distribution, right? So this is our objective, that is we are going to calculate this. So for doing this, let us first consider a small element of length. Say this is a line. Within this line we consider this small element length of dl, and this was the diagram, if you can remember this. So this is r and this is the unit vector represented by ar, right? So this, suppose we are considering the positive charges are distributed throughout this line. So this total length of line we consider is L, where dl is a small part of this line, right? So we can write that small amount of charge on this element. So let us write that small amount of charge on this element. Element means here the element is dl, right? So this will be given by, from in this equation we can find it as dq equals to lambda dl. Just cross multiplication we can have this dq equals to lambda dl, right? So now we calculate that force on q naught due to this charge element, right? Charge element, that is charge element dq, right? So we will have df is the representation due of force on q naught due to this charge element dq, right? So we will simply write this is equals to, total force will be calculated as per the Coulomb's law that you know. So you can write q naught by 4 pi epsilon naught dq. Dq is the charge, two charges, one is test charge q naught, other is dq, and they are separated by distance of r, right? So this is the representation of differential amount of force that is experienced on or experienced by q naught due to this dq, right? So we can write this expression as q naught lambda dl by 4 pi epsilon naught r square ar, right? We have simply put the value of dq, lambda dl, in place of here dq, right? So total force now we'll calculate. So total force on test charge q naught, that we will calculate, simply integrated. So this force equals to q naught by 4 pi. I will separate the constant part here. So integral of L, line integral, of course since this is a line we will use a line integral. So lambda by r square ar dl, right? So this is your expression. And now since this is the expression of force, now we will calculate the EFI. So let us write EFI. we need some space. Let me make some space. So now EFI, we will calculate. EFI will be given as E equals to F by Q naught, right? This is the, so you remember that EFI is this represented by this expression we have discussed in the previous class. So therefore we can write E is equals to Q naught by 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught by integration of lambda by r square AR dl, right? Or we can conversely write E equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, and so we can have this expression Q naught will get cancelled out, so this will equal to lambda by r square. Of course these are line integrals, so dl AR. So this is your expression for EFI due to linear charge distribution, right? So next we will see just the same principle we will apply in case of a surface charge distribution, right? We have previously seen in case of a linear charge distribution. Now we will simply see what will be the case what will be the EFI in case of a surface charge distribution. For that we draw a picture where we have this kind of surface, and you can remember the surface charge distribution. So it is a small section ds of the charge, and let us consider this plus charges are present. These are electrostatic charges, as you remember. So this ds is a small part of this total surface, and this is your AR, and separated by this distance r. Okay, so r is a vector. Now as per the definitions, we will calculate this EFI of the surface charge distributions of this surface which I have drawn, right? Any kind of surface we can use. So we have defined previously that surface charge distribution is given by sigma equals to dq by ds. So if you can remember, this was the expression. Now we considered a small elemental area ds. Now from this ds, from this total surface, we consider a small elemental area ds on this total surface S, right? Now we will require, as per first we will have to evaluate the total force due to this Q naught charge. Q naught charge means we will also consider that one test charge Q naught is present. So due to, we will calculate the total force on Q naught due to this charge element, that is charge element surface charge distribution, that is ds, small element. So we can write 1 minute. So we can write force on Q naught due to this charge element, right? Element. So we will calculate this. So we will calculate again. Similarly, we will calculate df. So that will be equals to Q naught 4 pi epsilon 0. That is from Coulomb's law. We are getting this, and the small amount of charge, let say is dq, like before, separated by distance r, and here be the unit vector, right? So from here we are arriving at a point where Q naught this is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught sigma. We are simply putting the value of sigma ds. Sigma ds is your dq, so I'm writing it in place of dq. I'm writing sigma ds r square AR. Okay, now since, let us write the condition, since dq equal to sigma ds, right? So now from here we will now get the, we need to get the total force throughout the surface. Again simply we will integrate. So therefore total force we will calculate. So total force we will calculate F, total force on this test charge. Let us write it on this test charge Q naught due to surface charge distribution SCD, right? So this force will be equals to Q naught by 4 pi epsilon naught. Here the integral will be a surface one, sigma r square AR ds, right? So from here, this is the expression of total force. So from here now we can write EFI. We know that EFI is given as E equals to F by Q naught. That was our main definitions. So from here we can write E equals to Q naught by 4 pi epsilon naught. This Q naught will come as per definition. So we will have the surface integral of sigma r squared ds ar, right? So we can finally arrive from here, we can arrive this E equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q naught gets cancelled out. So we will write surface integral of sigma by r squared ds ar. So this will be your expression for electric what was that, the electric field intensity due to surface charge distribution, that is SCD. This will be your final expression, right? So in this, now we are going to study about or evaluate the EFI on equatorial line of an electric dipole, right? So the equatorial line means the line, I mean, if this is, say, you can see this is the line AB. Equatorial line means the line perpendicular to the axial line. So if A and B is your axial line, so the line perpendicular and passing through the center of an electric dipole. Electric dipole is here, you can see minus Q and plus Q. This is two opposite polarity of unit charge placed and separated by a distance. So we call this as electric dipole. And so equatorial line means, I mean, this line. So this is line, if electric dipole is present at the two ends of this line. So our equatorial line will be the line which is perpendicular to this axial line AB, and which passes through the center of this electric dipole, right? So we are suppose we see this diagram where we can see this A and B are 2 points where this minus Q and plus Q are charges are present, and this is the mid portion. As you can see, it is separated by the same length element L and L. So this is the line, and we have extended this line. This is your perpendicular line from, this is the point P where we have to calculate the EFI, right, on the equatorial line. Since this is the equatorial line, we can calculate the EFI on this equatorial line. So first of all, we need to find out the electric field at the point P due to both of the two charges, right? This is the point P. We need to find out the EFI at this point due to the charge plus Q and minus Q, right? So first, one by one, let us find. So let us write this EFI at P due to plus Q charge. Okay, so we'll simply find this, call this as E1. So next we will call this as E2. So first find out E1. So this will be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by BP square, right? Since this point is B and this is P, so we will say BP square, and this is along PD, right? That is along PD. So this is the extension of the line, or BP or PD, whatever you can say. So along PD, right? So this will be equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square plus L square along PD again. Why this? This is because it was root over, this is your hypotenuse of this right angle triangle. So this is your root over R square plus L square. You simply square this one, so you will get R square plus L square along PD, right? So the next, this was due to plus Q. So we will next find out this EFI at P, at the point P due to minus Q of charge, that is this one, right? So for that, let us represent by E2. So similar process we will go on. So we will go 1 by 4 pi epsilon we get, and this is by Q by AP square, right? AP square, and along, it will be along PC. Here C is a point, so we can write this PC is there along this direction. So along PC, right? So this comes as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square plus L square along PC. So these two equations we have got. Now this E1 and E2, these two E1 and E2, are inclined at an angle theta. I have seen you have given an angle theta. This angle is inclined at an angle theta, right? Now the total inclination of E1 and E2 is actually 2 theta. Why? Because this one is your, if this is your angle theta, this part will be theta and this part will be theta. So theta plus theta will be 2 theta. So we apply parallelogram law of vector addition here. So we'll simply write by applying parallelogram law in this, this parallelogram. So we can write by applying parallelogram law of vector addition. Okay, parallelogram law of vector addition. So we will apply this law. So we will have this magnitude of E1 equals to magnitude of E2 vector, right? And this will be equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q r square plus L square, right? So now we will calculate the net electric field intensity we have to calculate. So let us omit this one, make some space. So next let us make some space here. You can go back whenever you require and refer to the expressions which we have got till now. So now we can write net electric field intensity, or simply let us write as EFI. So net EFI E due to electric dipole, that is now we are considering both plus q and minus q together, right, at point P, right? So this E equals to will be, by applying parallelogram law, this will be equals to E1 square plus 2E1 E2 cos of 2 theta plus E2 square. So this will be the E. So from here, now since previously you got E1 vector equals to E2, right? So since we can write, since E1, this is exactly what we got, this equals to E2 vector are same. So we can write this E will finally come as 2E1 cos theta. So you simply put this will be E1 square like this. So you calculate it, finally you will obtain this 2E1 cos theta. So now we can write this E will be equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2q cos theta by r square plus L square, right? So let us consider this as our first expression, right? Now we will consider the triangle OAP. So you can consider here OP, this is a right angle triangle. So we consider this OAP triangle. So in can write triangle AOP, can write cos theta here, cos theta, cos of theta, this one. So this will be equals to 1 by root over r square plus L square, right? So now you put the value of theta in equation 1. So if you put the simple value of theta in equation 1, so you will get E equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q cross 2L by r square plus L square 3 by 2, right? This is obtained. Now since q cross 2L, that is equals to P, right? So we can simply write it again, then E equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught P by r square plus L square 3 by 2 along negative x-axis, right? Now finally from here we can write, after this we can write, now if this r, this is the distance r, is very small, that is smaller than this L, let us take this condition, if this r is much lesser than L, we can simply write that E will be equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught P by r cube along negative x-axis. So this will be your expression for EFI in an equatorial line due to the presence of any electric dipole, right?